Drum tech on the premise.
Locking clamps on here, so you can kind of set.
How do you clean cymbals, or do you? Or just dust them?
Yeah, like something like this with an old Zildjian. I like the patina to be on there.
These are Zildjians from probably the mid-60s.
Yeah. I'm not a super stamp expert, but they have different stamps for different eras.
These are at least 1967, maybe before. Because Larry got this set, not this set, but these cymbals for his bar mitzvah in the summer of love in San Francisco.
And yeah, I don't.
Hey, did anyone ever tell you? Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I need to grab a CD. Look at this. Look. Okay, let me see. Does Morrissey wear glasses?
Yeah, like the big chunky plastic.
Is there? Okay, I'm sorry. I have all these Morrissey friggin' CDs here.
I just cut my hair.
Up.
It was a little bit longer.
Okay, look up.
Let me push it up like this.
See, there we go. Whoa, okay, we got doppelganger here. Okay, let's get back to the drums.
Yeah, I personally like this. I don't need them to be like a brilliant, bright, shiny thing, but for me, it's just if I'm taking them out of the bag and I'm putting them on the stand, if my hands feel dirty, that's what I want to clean. So even just a little water in a rag, this like the look is fine to me. It's just a matter of are my hands now dirty or dusty because I've handled them. That's what I'm not into.
Got it. But you don't wear gloves or anything. You don't need to.
No.
Okay. Now, see, we're doing this because look at this. Look at that. That's not good.
That's not good. That's not. That's not.
So we bought some new drum heads. What did we get? We got Remo.
Coated Ambassador, single ply, 10 mil.
Yeah, basically, I'm not a real drummer anyway. I just have it here for people to sit in. So, okay.
So let's see. Memory clamp, I think. And so you can fix that to where you want it to be. Anytime you slide this on or off, it's going to go down to wherever this piece is. So we'll adjust that one in a bit. Now, I'm just going to take this guy off. Your head's on the bottom. Probably do the snare first, actually. This guy off. Yeah, probably crank that a little bit. There's a lot of different methods for tuning. I personally like the bottom head, especially snare. Snare, you always want a much more crank than this bottom head. But in general, for the toms, I usually like the bottoms to be a little bit higher than the top. Gives it a little bit more sustain and focus. Depends on how you're playing and the hardware and the heads and everything.
Okay.
But something like this.
Okay, so we got the old one off of the snare, and this is the new one.
And you can feel just the thinness of different drum heads, the ply, whether it's a single ply, double ply, how thin it is and how much it's going to breathe versus the extra coating that's on here.
Okay.
Even just doing a little
Got it.
sound test of the low end here versus this.
And while you have that up, hold that up, and I'll give you a little plug. Your album is Silver Street, Jacob Wendt. This is on a Stoughton, beautiful Stoughton cover, pressed at RTI, cut by Kevin Gray. You can get this at the In Groove. Go to the In Groove. I'll put a link in the description. It's a hard bop record. Congratulations there.
And this is pretty close to, I mean, Coated Ambassador, single ply, 10 mil. I think the original Ambassadors, like the vintage ones that they make now, I think they were 2-ply. It might have been 12 total. But anything before 1959, really before 1960, it was pretty much all calfskin head. Like there wasn't plastic drum heads until about 59, 60. And then even today, there's a lot of drummers that still use real calfskin. But especially for the first decade or so, the real trad drummers and it's a sound difference, it's a feel difference. But any of like Clifford Brown, Max Roach, mid-50s, like that's all going to be calf head on both sides of the drum.
What would have Pete Best used? Now this is obviously a like an 80s or 90s signature, probably an 80s signature on a Remo head. But this is obviously a plastic head. But in the early 60s, before he got kicked out of the Beatles, would he have used it?
If it was 1960, chances are it's probably still calf.
62.
62 is like right where the split happened. And specifically, it was Ringo playing on Ed Sullivan. There's a famous story where, back then the company logo would be, a removable sticker. It was like the sticker that you take off after you buy the thing. And I saw this interview with Ringo where it had a big Ludwig sticker on the bass drum head, and he bought the drums, and the guy went to take it off. He says, no, leave that on there. Like, I want people to know I'm playing Ludwig drums. Nice. And now over the years, this logos, they get bigger and bigger on the equipment. But 1962, probably still calf, and maybe a mix and match of some plastic or some calf. Maybe some people don't do this but a little pro tip. These edges, as you crank them up, and there's glue in here that settles and cracks and pops. So before I put something on, I just kind of preemptively do that. Break up all that stuff so that it kind of meshes to the...
So you don't have to retune it.
Yeah, because like just as you tune it and crank it up, you're gonna hear little pops and crack. That's the glue and things unsettling. So I just kind of give that a little. I do that in advance, so it just tunes more evenly as I put it up.
Got it.
I like to have the snare, the actual throw of the snare on this side of me.
Yeah, that's on the left. Mm-hmm. I do too.
Some people put it like this.
No, I like it on the left, even though I'm not really a drummer anymore. But when I first started, I had a snare drum, and I was learning my 13 basic rudiments, and it was always on the left.
So since I have that on this side, just like you have here, I like the logo to be fixed there. Sometimes you show up and like this, they have it like this, and it's just like, it just irks me because I'm like, I want it to be even.
I'm a Virgo, so you need to make that right. Jacob Wendt, Silver Street, available at the In-Groove.
On.
Getting it set.
Finger tight, yeah. I did this. The snare's off, and you can hear that's quite low. So I'm just going to give that a general tweak up. And again, I like to go opposite side tensions at a time. So I'm kind of evenly distributing that tension across the drum. Some people might even do like, if I do this one first, then I'm going to go this way, then this way, then this way. But if you do it really incrementally enough, it's usually okay. Getting there. And there's a science to it, but it's 40% science and 60% art. Pretty much want this to be, the bottom to be as tight as it can without it choking the sound of the drum. But it's a good starting point. And I'm actually gonna move this down here just so it's a flatter surface. It takes a little bit more time, but that's still maybe lower than I would go most of the time, but with a thinner shell, sometimes a higher pitched tuning makes the shell sound even thinner. This arm actually brings the entire wire system. These wires, these are the actual snare wires.
Right.
So this arm actually brings it all the way up and down, but you can fine tune it with this dial, just kind of micro amounts of it coming up or down. And I also can affect the tuning. You crank it too much, you can dampen the sound a bit. Too low, too ringy. See how even this is rocking. Just in the ballpark. Snare is this more of a club date model. They call it the Elite on this Catalina. Club date, where there's a single lug and you have extra long tension rods going in. So you still have double-sided tuning, but these long tension rods are sharing one lug, as opposed to, actually all of them have this on this. Snares usually will have the one lug because these are shorter tension rods, but on other bass drums or floor toms, instead of one lug in the center, you would actually have two sets of lugs for either side, and the tension rods would be, you know, maybe half that length or a third. Good. So yeah, so this becomes important to remember when you're taking this apart, is when we're putting the head on here, we have to remember, if we wanted to line up that logo, we have to remember like what side the mounting thing is on. Do the sound test again of this versus these. Hear and feel the thinness there and the depth. So I'll still do something like sort of across, just to try to balance that out. The super correct way to do this would be to take these legs off, let the drum sit on the floor, so that if you're trying to put weight on, it's not shifting around like that, or one of the legs.
So you're gonna do it the cheap ass way, basically. Since
now that I'm on camera, I have to do it the legit way.
Oh, Maslov.
Got me.
I'm sorry, I busted you. Okay, all right, there we go. Floor tom.
Boom. It's not a huge deal, but imagine if, you know, you're trying to tune from here, and instead of the tuning being affected only by here, it's going all the way to here, and that's happening on both sides of the drum.
And these are 14 inches?
14-inch single ply. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, okay.
This guy. I mean, it's like if you're sitting at the table and your food was on the other side and you're using a foot-long fork to try to grab food. Hear that little glue pop?
Mm-hmm. So, Jacob, tell me about this album you did.
Silver Street, October of 24, we released this, so coming up on a year. And all original music of mine. very inspired by 50s and 60s era hard bop, Blue Note players like Horace Silver, Art Blakey, Lee Morgan, Hank Mobley, Freddie Hubbard, Herbie, Wayne, Sonny Clark. I really wanted to capture that kind of, just that style of playing. And I think recording wise, we did that by playing all together in one room with just a couple mics, no separate booths or headphones or overdubs or anything, just live together in the room, how a session would have been back then.
Where was it recorded?
Big City Recording with Paul Taverner, Granada Hills in LA. Just all in one room, one mic, one overhead mic on the drum, and a little bit of a bass drum mic that we used maybe a bit, but that's it. And just playing together in the room, kind of organic takes. And I think that really has an effect on the music, because I think when everyone's in separate rooms, they kind of have their own different dynamic levels and energies, and then an engineer has to figure out how to mix them together and make it sound like it was played live. But we just played live, and so we didn't have to spend a lot of time doing that.
Great. Thank you very much. Can you give us a little something on the drums here as you're tuning? Thank you for changing the heads, and thank you for tuning this. I got this when my late friend Larry Weinberg passed away 12 years ago, and his wife gave me his drum set because we grew up together. At 12 years old, we were both drummers, and I quit, played guitar, and we started a band together. And it's sort of sentimental, this set, even though I can't play it really, but I like having it in good shape. And thank you.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good now. And I'm gonna even, for a jazz thing, I might take him up a little bit more, but it's kind of got that nice 50s, 60s rock sound to it.